Hey guys, Clint Sparks here. And another thing that you need to be aware of, something very important, another useful tool in winning big in the music business. If you are an artist, if you're a DJ, you're a singer, and you want to get exposure, you want people to get familiar with you and your product, is a platform called Twitch. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys heard of Twitch. I'm sure some of you guys may think it's just a platform for gamers, but it is not. And here to help me get you familiar with how you can utilize it effectively to help promote you and your music is Pat Shah, who is the head of music at Twitch. This is the guy. This is the #1 guy at Twitch if you got music and you're trying to get cracking on Twitch. Thanks for joining us, Pat.
Thanks for having me. And just to be clear, there's a big team of people at music doing Twitch. I'm just a small part of it. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Look, I can have a whole body, but without the head, the body doesn't work, and you want the head, right? So for those people, for new artists and those people that are unfamiliar with Twitch, and let's just start from the very basic, because there's some people I believe that will watch this and don't really understand what Twitch is, what it does, what it's all about. Can you just kind of give a synopsis and understanding of what Twitch is?
Yeah, sure. So on the very basic level, Twitch is a platform that connects creators and their fans. Now, we have built that business on in one vertical, which is gaming and esports. And so what has been built to date has been people who have been playing Call of Duty or Fortnite, et cetera. They're live streaming themselves, playing these video games, and then connecting with an audience that brings that whole experience to life. So what we've said is, can we transmute that basic connection for musical artists and for performing artists? And so what we've said is, just in the same way that creators have created channels, artists should create channels and come onto the platform and experiment with content. And that content could be live streaming yourself playing games, just like the gaming guys. It could be performing from your bedroom or living room in this world that we live in COVID. People are not touring. So it's a big opportunity for artists to start to experiment with Twitch and to start reaching an audience. And then the third thing they can do is just have chats and conversation with their fans, right? So a lot of artists tell us, I know my fans from the play count I get from the DSPs, from the stuff they tend to buy in terms of merchandise, and sometimes when they show up at my shows, but I actually don't know who they are, individually or as a group. I just know that I know them as transactors and purchasers. So Twitch is an opportunity to actually meet your fans, understand what they're all about, and that actually might help you, A, build a deeper emotional connection to your fans, but B, also actually influence your art. You might actually learn that these types of songs which are more melodic tend to perform really well with my fans, and that's what they want. And maybe that should be my radio single, for example, or it's the stuff that they're riffing and it's more eclectic, and that's what I should lean into more. And so it's a two-way interactive thing where fans are kind of helping artists understand what they like and who they are, and then the fans get essentially a different or more of the stuff that they want from you as an artist. And so that just propels itself, going forward and forward. And so Twitch is just a space in which to do that. And I'll say, many thousands of artists have joined in the last couple of months. We've announced a deal with SoundCloud and Bands in Town, and they've been amazing partners to help bring a lot of artists to the platform. And now there's actually a big community of artists that are starting to congregate on the platform. So, but yeah, so I would say, the first step is sort of getting started and start reaching out to other artists who are on the platform.
So that leads me to ask, how does someone that's unfamiliar with Twitch, and now they're learning more from listening to you, how does one get started? Like, is it like a social media page where you just put up a bio and a picture and start posting? Or how do you start a Twitch page?
Yeah, great question. So step one is go to twitch.tv and create a broadcaster account. When you go and do that, that is the same as like signing up for Instagram or Facebook or whatever. You go and just enter in your basic information. The second step is to go to artist.twitch.tv, which is an entire page on their website that is geared toward artists. There's a welcome message from Matt Heafy from Trivium, and all kinds of other information about how to get started, what equipment do you need, how to go through the setup. Everything is sort of outlined for you there. So that gets you to the point where you can actually go live and start broadcasting. That takes you all the way up into that place. And if you still need more help, there are Discord channels, which, you know, musicians, Twitch Music Assist is one of the big channels on Discord. There are artists on there who are willing to help other artists pay it forward, get them set up and all that kind of stuff. So getting started is not difficult. There are many ways to, you know, to do it, but starting at artist.twitch.tv is the best place to start once you create your account.
So you mentioned equipment in that explanation. Is there anything more that somebody needs than their laptop? And can you use Twitch on your phone? Yeah,
so you can use Twitch on your phone. The service has been built for laptop, more so, or desktop in particular. So because of gaming heritage. So I would say start with your iPhone, start with your PC, you know, or your Mac or whatever, and just get started. You don't need to invest in any fancy equipment, mixers, boards, amps, none of that stuff. Just start getting going, start creating content, and you'll start to, you know, find your audience on platform. So I give a piece of advice for two people, or two types of artists. There are already large artists who have a following. So those are easy because you could just post on your social and tune into your channel. And that's actually how you really build audience. The second case is an artist that does not have a following. They're just getting started, right? And so for those folks, get in and start going to visit other people's channels, other artists on their platform, and start getting into chat, start building a relationship. What you'll find, what will happen is those artists in kind will reciprocate and say, hey, come onto my stream, let's do a jam session together, or we can host and raid each other's channels. And if you don't know what that is, I can explain hosting and raiding.
Yeah, explain raiding and hosting.
Yeah, so raiding.
It's a popular term in Twitch, and it's something that's really effective. And if you don't know Twitch, you definitely don't know what that means or how to do it.
Yeah, sure. So hosting is very simple. So if I'm a channel creator and I'm just wrapping up my session, you know, like we're wrapping up this Zoom call, and you know, you're a creator, Clinton, and you'll say, hey, listen, for all you people who are still, you know, thanks for joining and have been a part of this conversation. I'm now going to host my friend's channel into your own. And so it's kind of like picture, you just kind of bring it into yours. And so now what you're doing is the people who are watching you are now going to get exposed to me as you host my channel. So it's just bringing it into your channel and exposing it to your audience, right?
How before you move on to raid, what I want to just, someone that's watching right now, how that can be advantageous for you is if you make connections with another artist that maybe have a bigger audience than you do, and they support you. One way they can help by showing the support is through something like hosting. So if they have a big audience and they're done what they're doing, they can then say, pass it off, almost like they're the opening act for you. So,
correct, yeah.
And then say, now I'm going to introduce you to this guy. And that's one way that artists can help lift each other up and promote each other that when they're supporting one another.
100%. And that exactly is the whole ethos behind it, which is creator supporting creator. And that is like a proven and established thing on Twitch. And so I think people will do that. It's not as hard as it seems. It will happen. So rating is something different. Rating is I'm with my audience and we're on my own channel, and we decide to bring our entire tribe to your channel. And so we will all raid you at the same time and sort of like crashing your party.
And so, the show.
Yeah, bum rushing a show. Exactly right. So so that's cool because now I'm basically saying I'm the ringleader and follow me, my entire tribe, and let's go help out Clinton and and be a part of his show for an hour or a half hour or whatever it is. And the beautiful part is some portion of those people are going to be like, you know what, I like that Clinton guy. I'm going to follow his channel and continue to come back, afterwards. And so that's how we start to amalgamate audiences on the platform. So I would say the one thing that as people are thinking about content strategy, artists are thinking about content strategy, think about like what tribe do you want to bring to Twitch so that you can accelerate all of this stuff, right? And so a lot of artists tend to know other artists. And so you don't have to do it by yourself. You can come in with 10 or 15 friends and all decide to adopt Twitch at one time and start supporting each other with social, with, you know, community interaction and all of that kind of stuff. So that's another really creative way to get involved.
Yeah, that is. And one of the things I was going to ask you, which you just gave some really significant tips on how to build an audience, but what if you don't know any other artists? What if you're brand new, you're a kid, like doesn't have many friends, but you have the talent, you have the drive and desire to get exposure and work really hard for people to get familiar with your music? What is something that I, sitting in my bedroom, I don't have any person that can host for me, I don't have a following that can raid with me, what are some effective ways that I can build my audience within Twitch?
Yeah, the best way, excuse me, the best way and the fastest way is to jump into chat on other artists who are already live streaming on the platform. On Twitch today, we have an entire category called music. It's on the top level nav. You click on it, it will only show you live streams of artists who are live at that moment. Mm-hmm. Jump into their chat, start contributing to their communities. They will notice you, and then you'll be able to have a relationship with them. And that's how you sort of kickstart that whole thing. So find folks that, like, you know, and I don't necessarily need to skew like really big, like don't go hit up Diplo, you know, day one. You could actually go hit up smaller artists who have a following of 20 people or 50 people who are watching them at one time. Start to like build organically that way, become a part of the community and grow with the community. And it's one of those things where, like, because it's social and it's two-way, it's different than just following somebody on Instagram, which feels very passive and unconnected, right? On Twitch, when you contribute and you jump in with these conversations with creators, they respond, they acknowledge you, they recognize you, and they will be more than willing to help you accelerate your own curve. It will happen actually relatively quickly once you really dive into the community.
Now, Twitch, are people able to cheat, like how they cheat on YouTube or Spotify with fake plays and fake streams? And like, is there anything in Twitch where you can build bots in the fake audience, or is everything real as for now on Twitch?
Yeah, so I mean, you know, no platform is 100%, you know, foolproof. But most of the conversation on Twitch is real. Like 99% of it is all real. There are bots for scheduling purposes or admin purposes. A lot of that is trust and safety, where we're monitoring conversation to make sure it's healthy and productive or fair. And then there are other sorts of elements where the creators themselves might launch bots in chat to express like reward or praise. And so when somebody subscribes to a channel, there'll be a bot notification that says, you know, thank you, such and such person, for subscribing to my channel, that kind of thing. But yeah, the conversation is real. It's happening in real time, especially for live streams. And you don't have to worry about, there's no ability to upload tracks and create a fake stream type of situation, which is common on other platforms.
One of the things that you said that is really important that I stress to the audience a lot is that you don't have to always try to feel that you have to connect with the biggest names in the industry to make some kind of traction or contact that's impactful. Like you suggested, you can reach out to people that are just kind of a notch higher than you. One fan a day is still a fan, right? And I teach people that all the time. Is there a way that you feel artists, new artists, or even established artists that are just new to Twitch and don't understand how it works, that they can contact, whether it's the top streamers down to, you know, just the smaller streamers? Can you contact gaming streamers to get them your music to play while they're gaming? Like, is that tactic happening within Twitch, and how can somebody move about doing that?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's something that we're working on internally at Twitch, which I can't talk about it right now, but I will come back and tell you at a later point.
And we'll share that with you guys later when Pat can tell me, I'll tell you guys.
Yeah, exactly. But the other sort of big opportunity is today, artists who control their own rights can definitely go to gamers and say, hey, I love your stuff, and here's a track you can play in the background of your streams without worrying about a DMCA takedown or anything that kind of that matter, and feed them the track to go do that. we're thinking about ways in which to make all that easier, you know, over time. But yes, today it's something that they can do if they feel like there's an opportunity for them. The other thing I was going to say is, if you're a creator and you're an artist and you're getting started, think about Twitch as part of the marketing platform that promotes your work on Spotify. So you could actually have, you know, your broadcast session on Twitch, and then have a call out or a chyron, a lower third, that says, you know, check out my stuff on Spotify or Amazon Music, preferably. But
pause a second. For those that don't know what a lower third is, explain that. What's a lower?
So a lower third is essentially the little chyron that you see when you're watching CNN, for example. It's a little banner. It's oftentimes says breaking news or whatever, and it'll just be some information about what's happening on the screen. Or so in the case of an interview, it'll be the name and title of a person who's, you know, on it or whatever. And so you can customize your own Twitch streams with like very like cheap, inexpensive graphics packages that you can then just post your link to essentially your, your Spotify plays. And then below the fold, so below the video area of the screen, there are links out to like Patreon and Spotify and Amazon Music, etc., where people can just click on directly and go. So you can call it out in the lower third, and you can link out below the video.
Right, so a great way to promote your stuff is to perhaps perform it, whether acoustically or set up a stage in your house, or even a live show, be filming it and go live, streaming on Twitch, and then make your song available on the chyron, as he said, where people can now say, oh man, I like this guy, and then you go follow and their music on Spotify or wherever else.
Exactly.
You put a link.
Exactly.
So this
yeah,
would,
and then
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and like, and once you get to that place where 40 or 50 or 100 people are watching you regularly, you can use that chyron to promote other people's work too, right, and pay it forward. So just in the same way that somebody helps you come up, you can then in turn help somebody else come up, you know, and use all of your own marketing assets to help other people.
Right. So this video was to get you familiar with Twitch, how to engage and build an audience. And in the next video, we're going to talk about how can you make money with Twitch, and what is the difference from Twitch and other streaming platforms that exist right now. In the next video, get familiar.